lesson about how people should act. Today, my friends and I will present some popular fables which I'm sure you all have read in your school days. After each presentation, 3 students from their respective section will read aloud a fable which they have created on their own. We surely hope you will enjoy our fabulous fables presentation. Thank you.
Stories from long ago. Aesop's fables, Aesop's fables. They have so much to show. Aesop's fables, Aesop's fables. Stories from long ago. Aesop's fables, Aesop's fables. They have so much to show. Aesop's fables, Aesop's fables. We remember all his tales, filled with morals true. Though his fables are quite old, they always seem so new. Long ago, we saw lit the flame, and to honor his great story, still sing his name. Long ago, we saw lit the flame, and to honor his great story, still sing his name. We still sing his name. We still sing his name.
Wow, wasn't that just a perfect beginning? Well done, children.
About Anna, little kids. One day she wanted to go to the woods to get food for her kids. So she told them,
Dear children, I am going out into the woods. Do not open the door while I am away. If the old wolf comes into our home, lead your luck. You can easily recognize him by his rough voice and splat feet.
Dear mother, we will be very careful not to let the old wolf in.
Don't worry about us.
We will be quite safe.
So the old wolf went on a raid into the dark woods. She had not been gone long when there came a loud knock at the door, and a voice said,
Open the door, dear children. I have something for each of you.
We will not open the door. Our mother's voice is soft and gentle. Your voice is rough. You are a wolf.
The old wolf ran away to his shop, where he ate a piece of chalk to make his voice soft. Then he went back to the goats and knocked it. Open the door, dear children. I'm your mother.
If you are a mother, put your foot on the window so that we can see it.
Our mother has delicate white feet, and we can recognize them instantly.
We will not open the door.
Our mother's feet are white, yours are black.
Go away, you are the wolf.
Then the wolf went to the millers and said, Mr. Miller, put some flour on my foot as I have hurt myself. Okay, Mr. Wolf, please just don't hurt me. The miller was so afraid of the wolf that he did as he was told. Then the wicked wolf went to the goat's house again and said, Oh, open the door, dear children, I'm your mother.
Show us your foot.
So the wolf puts his white foot on the window. When the little kids saw that it was bad, they thought this really was their mother.
Come in, mother.
You're home at last.
Show us what you got for us.
Can we please have lunch now?
When the ugly old wolf entered
different places in their home.
The terrible bull quickly found and ate them all, except the youngest who hid in the tall clock. Then the mean greedy bull went out and lay down on the green grass. Soon he was fast asleep. When the mother goat came home from the woods, she was alarmed to see the door ajar. Oh my! The door is open. What happened there? Where were your children? Dear mother, I'm here in the tall clock.
The mother goat helped the little goat out. Soon she found out how the wolf had eaten her dear children. There, on the grass, was the wolf, fast asleep. As she looked at the wicked old wolf, she thought she saw something jumping inside of him.
Ah! It may be that my poor children are still alive.
So she sent the little kid into the house for a pair of scissors, a needle, and some thread. She quickly tore a hole inside the wicked old wolf's tummy. Then soon one kid stuck his head out, then another popped out, until all 8 kids jumped out of that kid's tummy.
Mother! Go and release some large stones from the brook.
The 3 little kids ran off to the well and soon came back with 8 large stones. They put these stones inside the wicked old wolf.
Out to the wood gently and quietly so it doesn't wake up.
One night last, the wicked wolf woke up. The great stone inside and made him feel very heavy.
Oh, I feel so heavy and thirsty.
So he walked down to the well to drink some water.
Ah, I feel better now.
But as soon as he finished drinking water, the stones which were very heavy made him fall into the deep well and he was drowned. Out of the bag of the wolf. And after that day, the mother goat and her 9 animals peacefully in the little by the brook in the woods.
Always listen to your grandmother and don't trust strangers.
My first question is, what is a fable?
Fable story in which you have animals with human characteristics, and through these fables we have moral in the story to teach us.
Correct.
Thank you.
My second question is, what are the main characters in a fable? Correct. Zainab, and I'm from 2C. And I would like to ask you some questions. My first question is, what moral does the fable The Hare and the Tortoise teach us?
Don't steady means the
Correct. My second question is, name a famous fable writer. I'm from class 2B and my name is Mikhail Fatmi Ha, and today I'm going to read my fable named The Mean Lion and the Poor Rabbit. Once there lived a kind rabbit named Zephyr and a mischievous lion named Looney. They went to school named Cat beneath Cusher. They were always together as they were good friends.
One early morning, when the lion and the rabbit were going to school, Lion said, "Let's miss the school today and go hunting with me." "But I don't feel safe with you," complained the rabbit. "What if you eat me up?" The lion answered, "No, I won't. I promise." So they set off in the deep dark jungle. Not long when the lion could not find a good prey, so he decided to eat up the rabbit for his meal. When the rabbit saw the mean look in the lion's eyes, he ran to save his life. There was a hunter passing by the trees in the jungle. When he saw the rabbit's life in danger, he shot at the lion, who got badly injured. The next day, they both went to school. Everyone around asked the lion how he got hurt, but the lion was really embarrassed to tell the truth. The kind rabbit came up to him and said, "If you are sorry about what happened yesterday, we still can be friends." The lion felt very bad and promised never to hurt his friend again. The moral of the story is, never cheat your friend. Thank you.
Abia, and I'm from class 2B. I'm going to read you a fable called The Monkey Who Learned a Lesson. There was once a monkey who was very selfish and refused to help anyone. This monkey was friends with the kind bear, who on the other hand loved to help everyone. They both lived happily in the lush green jungle, close to each other, having lots of fun. Monkey used to play tricks on everyone, and the bear would always come to their help. Monkey thought that helping others is a waste of time. One day Monkey got a tummy ache. He got so sick that he could not jump out of his tree. He could not eat his food and could hardly move. The bear passed by and he thought to check upon the monkey. The monkey was fast asleep. He moved him and asked, "What happened?" The monkey replied, "I have fever and tummy ache and do not know what to do." So the bear gave him some soap and took him to the vet. When the bear was giving a kind treatment to the monkey, it made him realize that helping others is not that bad, and it feels good when someone helps you. He decided to be helpful. From that day onwards, they helped all the animals in the jungle. Moral of the story is always help others.
Hi, I'm from class 2B. My name is Rayan Siddiqui and I'm going to read a fable. The title is The Mean Alligator. Once near the river bank lived a mean, delicious alligator and some energetic and happy bullfrogs. The alligator always wanted to eat the bullfrogs for his meal. One day the alligator came and said to one of the bullfrogs, "Come on my back and I will give you a ride around the place." After taking a small round, he said to the bullfrog, "I wanted to tell you a secret." As soon as the bullfrog came near his mouth to hear, he gulped him down. When Mother Bullfrog came home, she asked about the baby bullfrog. The other bullfrog said he went with the alligator. The mother got so upset, so she rushed to the river and saw the alligator resting there. She thought of a plan and told the alligator that she wanted to see her large fierce teeth. As soon as the alligator opened his mouth, the poor little baby bullfrog jumped out crying for help. The mother took his baby and ran away. From that day, the baby bullfrog did not trust any strangers. The moral of the story is never trust strangers. Thank you.
बड़ा और घना जंगल था। इस जंगल में एक
जंगल में हम जहाँ भी जाते हैं लोग हमारी बहादुरी के गुण गाते हैं। अच्छा, अब कौन सा कारनामा किया है तुमने? भाई परसों मैंने एक बारह सिंह को शेर से बचाया। उसकी सिंगें झाड़ी में फंस गई थी। ओहो, तो फिर तुमने क्या किया? फिर क्या था, मैंने फौरन जाकर बारह सिंह को निकाला और शेर को वो आंखें दिखाई कि वो भाग खड़ा हुआ। वाह वाह, आप तो जानवरों के हमदर्द और दोस्त हैं। वाह, क्या बात है आपकी बहादुरी और ताकत की। अच्छा, अब मैं चलता हूँ, भूख लगी है तो केले खाने जाता हूँ। तुम्हें भी अपने किस्से सुनाऊं?
ना बाबा ना, मुझे नहीं सुनने तुम्हारे किस्से। मुझे भूख लगी है, मैं घास खाने जा रहा हूँ।
गेंडा तो अपनी राहुल या बंदर ने जाकर दूसरे जानवर से मिलकर गेंडे की शेखी मारने की बात बताई। जब वो मिलकर बैठे तो गेंडे के बारे में ही बात करने लगे।
हाँ भाई, इस गेंडे को तो सिवाय अपनी तारीफ करने के और कोई काम नहीं। उसने तुमसे क्या कहा? उसने मुझसे कहा कि तुम जो इतना तेज दौड़ते हो, मैं तुमसे ज्यादा तेज भाग सकता हूँ। दौड़ में तो मैं तुम्हें यूं हरा दूं।
भैया बताओ, कितनी अजीब बात है। कहीं गेंडा तुम्हारी तरह तेज दौड़ सकता है? ये तो हर वक्त अपने मुंह में या मिट्ठू ही बनता रहता है।
हाँ भाई, मुझसे भी कहा कि तुम मछलियाँ पकड़ने में इतनी मेहनत करते हो, मैं तो यूं पानी में हाथ डालूं और ढेरों मछलियाँ पकड़ सकता हूँ।
अच्छा, ऐसा कहा उसने? भैया गेंडा कैसे पानी में से मछलियाँ पकड़ कर दे सकता है?
अब तो भाइयों, इसकी बड़ाई की बातें सुन सुनकर दिल ही खराब होने लगे। कहीं इसको दौड़ाई ना पड़ जाए।
मैं उनकी झूठी कहानियां सुनता ही नहीं हूँ और वहाँ से चला जाता हूँ।
उफ, इतनी शेखियाँ तो मैं भी नहीं मारती। भला बताओ, चालाकी में कितनी मशहूर और गेंडे भाई साहब कहते हैं कि वो ज्यादा चालाक है।
मैं भी बड़ा और ताकतवर हूँ, मगर मैं तो कभी शेखी नहीं मारता।
इस गेंडे को सबक सिखाने के लिए हमें कोई ना कोई तरकीब तो सोचनी ही पड़ेगी। इस तरह तो ये अपनी बड़ाई और ताकत के किस्से सुना सुना कर हमारे सर में ही राइड कर देगा।
तुम बिल्कुल ठीक कहते हो।
सारे जानवर मिलकर तरकीब सोचने लगे। आखिर लोमड़ी को इस मसले का हल समझ में आ गया। दूसरे
कुछ नहीं होती, हर जगह ताकत काम नहीं आती, कभी कभी अक्ल भी इस्तेमाल करनी पड़ती है। गेंडे भाई, केले खाया करो, थोड़ी अकल मिलेगी। तमाम जानवर और हाथी की बातें सुनकर गेंडे को एहसास हुआ कि वो गलत था। वो दिन ही दिन में बहुत शर्मिंदा हुआ और हिम्मत करके सबके सामने माफी मांगने लगा। दोस्तों, मैं बहुत शर्मिंदा हूँ। आइंदा मैं कभी शेखी नहीं मारूंगा। मैं तुम्हारा एहसान मंद हूँ कि तुमने मेरी आंगी खोल दी। अब मुझे यहाँ से निकाल दो।
अरे भाई गेंडे, मुझे तो खुशी है कि तुम्हें अपनी गलती का एहसास हो गया। हम सब तुम्हें यही समझाना चाहते थे कि गुरूर और झूठ बहुत बुरी चीज है और अल्लाह को भी नापसंद है। ये रहा जाने का रास्ता। अगर तुम अकल इस्तेमाल करते तो आसानी से खुद ही निकल सकते थे।
Good morning, everyone. My name is Vanessa. I'm from class 2B and I will be asking some questions. My first question is, what does the fable The Fox and the Sword about?
Story is about being mean to others. If you play tricks on others and are mean, then same will happen to you.
Correct. My second question is, how many goat kids were there in the fable performance by Grade 2B? Correct. My name is Riva and I'm from class 2B and I'm going to ask some more questions. My first question is, what was the title of the fable that grade 2B children just performed? Wrong answer. Correct. My second question is, what does the saying wolf in sheep's clothing mean?
Pretending to be innocent.
Your answer is wrong. Yeah, it's correct
Thank you, children.
I'm from class 2C and I'm going to read a fable. The bear who cheated the turtle. In a big school, there was a bear and a turtle. It was their math office test. Bear didn't like math. Their teacher gave the paper. Bear took out his pencil and started his work. He could not understand anything. Turtle had already started his paper. Bear tricked the turtle by telling him that his bottle was leaking. Turtle looked, but it was not leaking. Meanwhile, Bear quickly copied Turtle's work. Turtle came back on his seat and began writing on the other page. Bear again tricked the turtle by telling him that his things were falling from his back. The turtle got up again, but nothing was falling out. Again, Bear quickly copied the second page. The bear went to the teacher and gave his paper. The next month office test result came. Turtle got 1 out of 50 and Bear got 0 out of 50. Both Bear and Turtle had failed. The bear learned the lesson that he should never cheat. In the next office test, Bear wrote his own answer and didn't copy Turtle's work. Now he got 48 out of 50. The moral of the story, don't cheat. Thank you. I will read a fable. Its name is Mouse and the Elephant. Once there was a helpful mouse and a stubborn elephant. The elephant was part of a very famous circus in which he used to perform tricks. The elephant was very tired of doing tricks in a circus. One day the famous circus came to the city at night. The elephant was tired, so he ran away from the circus. He met a helpful mouse. The elephant asked the mouse, "Please, can you hide me?" The mouse asked, "Why?" The elephant replied, "First hide me." The mouse hid the elephant, and from that day onwards, the mouse and elephant became friends. The elephant told the mouse that he ran away from the circus because he did not like performing there. The mouse told the elephant that he can live with him. After a few days, the circus truck came and took away the elephant back to the circus. The elephant shouted, but nobody listened to him. The mouse decided that he is going to help his friend. The next day, the mouse packed his bag and went to the circus to look for the elephant. He quietly went to the elephant's cage and waited for someone to come. When a man came to give elephant food, he opened his cage. Mouse, who was waiting for that moment, bit the man on his foot and told the elephant to come out. They both ran away from the circus and nobody was able to find them ever again. They lived happily together like true friends. The moral of the story is a friend in need is a friend indeed.
I've written my fable. The title is The Cat's Operation. One beautiful morning, Toby, Tortoise and Hare were walking in the meadows. Toby was biting her nails. Tortoise and Hare kept on telling Toby not to bite her nails, but she never listened. One day, Tortoise remembered how her mother fell sick. He told the story. "Listen, Toby, my mother used to bite her nails like you. She got a tummy ache, so I took her to the doctor and the doctor said she will soon get fine." But the story wasn't any good. One day, Toby shouted, "Meow, meow, I have a tummy ache." Tortoise said that this is what might have happened to my mother. "Let's take you to Dr. Rhino." Hare picked up Toby and hopped, while Tortoise tried to crawl fast. As they reached, they knocked at the door. Knock, knock. The door opened, but no one was there. The doctor came singing. Soon he stopped and saw Toby shouting, so he got serious. Toby couldn't bear with the pain. Dr. Rhino told Toby to lie down on the doctor's bed. The doctor took an X-ray of Toby's tummy. He saw a nail in the tummy. He asked, "Toby, tell me, do you bite your nails?" Toby said, "Yes." Dr. Rhino thought and said, you have no choice. You have to get an operation. The operation was all good. Toby said thank you. It was time to leave. Toby promised, I will not bite my nails. As he said that, he fell asleep. Moral, don't bite your nails.
There once lived a shepherd boy who tended sheep out in the sun.
Oh, why do I have to sit here and watch sheep all day long? It's no fun being out here alone. I wish I could have some fun.
The son looked down into the sheep pasture and felt sorry for the boy. She called out to him,
Hello there, shepherd boy. What am I going to do with you? The day has just begun and you are already unhappy. I need to have some fun. I think it's time, don't you?
even the sheep thought it might be time for some fun. They stopped chewing, nodded their heads, and chanted,
Yes, it is time to have some fun. So tell us, shepherd, what to do. We are sheep, so we don't have a clue. But we're glad to follow you. It's time to have some fun.
I know. Let's play a joke on the villagers. We pretend to see a wolf and cry for help.
Great idea. Time to have some fun.
Excuse me, I am a wise goat and I have something to tell you. We all like fun in different ways. Each penny, pat or paw. What is fun for one and fun for some may not be fun for all. This is a wise poem indeed.
The boy was not listening. He quickly herded the sheep to the other end of the pasture.
Attention sheep, it is time to have some fun.
Yes, it is time to have some fun. So tell us, shepherd, what to do. We are sheep, so we don't have a clue. But we are glad to follow you. It's time to have some fun.
The shepherd boy cupped his hands to his mouth and cried out,
Wolf, wolf, the wolf is near. I need help. I fear.
Help, the wolf is here. We need help right here.
The village folk heard the cry and ran up to the pasture.
May I help you, boy? Where is the wolf?
Where is the wolf? Which way did it go?
Where is the wolf? Which way did it go?
The shepherd boy fell to the ground laughing.
No, that was fun. There's no wolf. It's just a joke, you know.
The villagers were very angry.
We are angry with you, boy. There's no wolf. We're going back to the village.
When the villagers had all gone home, the shepherd boy and the sheep laughed and laughed and laughed. The goat had climbed to the top of a high rock, looked down to the pasture, and loudly called,
We all like fun in different ways. Each penny, pat or paw. What is fun for one and fun for some may not be fun for all. This is a wise poem indeed.
But the boy was not listening. He sits under a tree. A wolf comes up the hill.
What a beautiful white sheep. They look just right to me.
No, you can't eat my sheep. Help, please help me. The wolf has come and he's going to eat the sheep. Wolf.
But this time
away.
Thank you, villagers. I was wrong to trick you before. I'm sorry. I've been very foolish. I will never cry wolf again.
And so the boy learned never to tell lies, or else people won't believe you when you do tell the truth.
Our children,
Grade 2A and I have two questions to ask. What moral does the fable The Ant and the Grasshopper teach us?
We should save it advance for the rainy day. And the grasshopper, right?
No, you're wrong. It teaches the moral to is how does the crow manage to drink water in the fable The Thirsty Crow? You're correct. Class 2A and I have two questions to ask you. Which animal frees the lion from the hunter's net in a famous fable? My second question is, what happened in the end of the fable Belling the cat? Correct. The Khan from class 2A and I'm going to read my fable Leopard Learns a Lesson. Once upon a time, in one of the deepest, darkest jungle of Africa, there was a very good school named Fanny's Learning Tree. Animals from different parts of the jungle came to study there. One windy day in March, two best friends, Luzon and Luman, studying in the same class, had their friendly football match. Leopard was not well prepared for his match because he did not listen to his mom, who asked him to practice instead of watching TV. When it was the day of the match, Luzon the leopard was very nervous. When the match began, Luzon the leopard did not score at all. He felt bad and said to himself, "It is okay to break the rules, to score high." Luzon the leopard tried to use his hands instead of his feet to make a goal, but the umpire deducted their points. Luzon the leopard team lost the match because he cheated. All the other team members were very upset with Luzon the leopard and did not take him anymore in the team. Moral: be honest and don't be unfair. Thank you. Ali from grade 2A. The title of my story is The Catfish and the Lobster. Once in a deep blue ocean in the country Australia, there lived a mean catfish and a kind lobster. When the catfish's mom was sleeping, he sneaked out of the house for swimming and went to a place where his mom told him not to go because fishermen threw nets there. While the catfish was swimming, he wasn't looking where he was going and got stuck in a net near the lobster's house. The catfish cried for help aloud, but nobody heard him and came to help. After a while, a kind lobster came back from school and heard the
catfish and saw him in trouble. The lobster thought and thought how to help him, and later he came up with an idea to chop the net. He quickly chopped the net and the catfish escaped away. The catfish went back without thanking the lobster. The next day, just when the lobster went out for school, he got stuck between two rocks and got into trouble. Later on, he saw the same catfish to whom he helped and asked him for help. But the mean catfish gave the lobster a dirty look and swam away without helping him. Just when the catfish was about to go, a shark came, helped the lobster, then he went to the catfish and chased him away. The lobster thanked the shark and they both became best of friends. The mean catfish was never being seen again. Moral: always help others and don't be selfish.
Not Tamur from class 2A, and I want to share my story, Bart the Bear and Ben the Zebra, with you. One sunny day in the city garden, Bart the Bear was fixing his chair. Suddenly, he dropped a screw and stepped on it. Ben the Zebra heard Bart the Bear crying for help, but Ben did not help Bart and instead was laughing at him. Ben the Zebra. After some days, Ben walked towards home when suddenly a lion pounced on him. Ben cried out for help, but no one came to help him. Bart at once galloped towards him and pulled him towards himself, and they both swiftly managed to escape. Ben the Zebra was thankful but was embarrassed too, so he apologized. Bart the Bear was very gentle and forgave at once and became friends again. Both Bart the Bear and Ben the Zebra started walking towards their cottage. On the way, they saw Tony the Turtle marching towards the pond. They said hi to Tony, and Ben the Zebra told Tony whatever happened. Tony the Turtle was very glad to hear it and appreciated Bart the Bear's effort. The moral of the story is help each other in difficult times. A happy school of fish lived in the corner of the sea. They were all red except for one, who was as black as a mussel shell. He swam faster than his brothers and sisters. His name was Swimmy. One bad day, a tuna fish, swift, fierce, and very hungry, came darting through the waves.
Boy, I sure am hungry. I think I'll eat this school of fish.
Oh no! Look out! Help! Save us! In one big gulp, he swallowed all red fish. Only Swimmy escaped. He swam away in the deep, wet world. He was scared, lonely, and sad. Oh no! What will I do without my friends? But the sea was full of wonderful creatures. As he swam, he saw one marvelous creature after another. First, he saw a jellyfish made of rainbow jelly. Hello, Swimmy. How's it floating? Not so good, Mr. Jellyfish. I'm sad and lonely without my red fish friends. Then, he met a lobster who walked about like a water-moving machine. Howdy, Swimmy. Good to see you. Good to see you too, lobster. He passed a forest of seaweeds growing from sugar candy rocks. Hi, Swimmy. Show us how fast you can swim. Yes, Swimmy. We want to see how fast you can swim. Sure thing. As Swimmy, he slid by an eel whose tail was almost too far away to remember. Morning.
happy again. Finally, he met 3 sea turtles who looked like green moons floating across the blue sky.
Greetings, Jenny. We are having travel for cat. Why don't you join us? I think I will. Let's go and swim and play and see things.
We can't. The big fish will eat us all.
But you can't just fly here. We must think of something.
Swimming dot and dot and dot.
I have it. We are going to swim all together like the biggest fish in the sea.
We taught them to swim close together, each in his own fish. And when they were next, as soon as I went down the cliff, he said,
I'll be the eye.
and so they swam to the blue one part of the big face and big away. Overcome all obstacles if you stay together. Stories from long ago, Aesop's fables, Aesop's fables, still have so much to show. Aesop's fables, Aesop's fables, stories from long ago. Aesop's fables, Aesop's fables, still have so much to show. Aesop's fables, Aesop's fables, we remember all his tales, filled with morals true. Though his fables are quite old, they always seem so new. Long ago, Aesop lit the flame, and to honor his great story, we still sing his name. Long ago, Aesop lit the flame, and to honor his great story, we still sing his name. We still sing his name. We still sing his name.
Thank you, children. Please stay back on stage. Now, I would like to invite Miss Maria Hug to say a few words.
Parents, I trust you enjoyed today's performance. Yes. As you must be aware, your children have been studying about fables for a few weeks, and they've learned what a fable is. They've read, I think, at least dozens of different fables, and each and every one of them have written their own original fable, which is, I think, quite incredible for a 7-year-old to do. Today, they've showcased everything that they've learned. They've performed in front of their parents, and I think they put a lot of effort into it. And children, you've done a great job. Let's give a big round of applause. And I hope you're going to remember all those morals you've learned and studied about. Yeah? I would also now like to thank the teachers. So, ladies, as I call out your name, please come forward. Miss Nusrat and Miss Shanina, sorry, Sheetal, Miss Nusrat, Miss Sheetal from class 2A. Miss Sheetal was the one who was commenting throughout. That was, I think you did a very good job. Thank you, Sheetal. Miss Khatija and Miss Nuvera, class 2B. Miss Nida to a seat. Miss Salma and Miss Roshan, Urdu teachers, put on the Urdu plate. Assistant teacher, Miss Saima. I would also like to thank Mr. Hussain Dosa and Oveis for all the sound, music, and product direction. And of course, an exceptional thanks goes to Ms. Sumira Wasim, the coordinator. Without her, this event would not have been possible. In fact, today is the first day I'm actually seeing this event, so she's really done everything and pulled this all together. I also want to thank all the parents for your cooperation and helping with the costumes and helping your children learn the lines. We couldn't have done it without you, so thank you very much. And I believe the children will be going back to their classes now, right? So I think you can go ahead, teachers, and take them. And parents, thank you very much and have a good day.